want to share with you one of my favorite sayings that Charlie would always tell us at the office. He would yell it from the mountaintops, so please listen. When conversations stop happening, when individuals become wordless, that's when violence begins. So, if you do one thing today, make it be with passion, with conviction. Stand up for your friends. Stand up for your beliefs. Speak loudly, even if your voice shakes. Your words have meaning. Your values have purpose. Never forget that. Thank you, CK.
And I mean, nothing that she said there was partisan. She was on a lost loved one, like someone she had worked with before, was mentored by Charlie Kirk. And, you know, it's interesting because obviously I've come from years and years in the news business, and towards the end, they're like, the most important thing that you can be in this business is authentic. Of course, you don't want to like blast your personal opinions, but they do want you to share personal stories. They know it's important to connect with the audience. And she did that. She shared her authentic self and she was suspended. Rather than take that sitting down, she took the advice of what she just said there in her report, and she has since resigned because of that action. A nurse was also suspended after calling attention to a doctor celebrating Kirk's assassination in front of other nurses and patients. She's the one that was suspended at the beginning, but she has since been reinstated, and the doctor she exposed has resigned. All of this is heavy. All of this is confusing because many of us are First Amendment warriors. We believe that you should be free to speak no matter how abhorrent, no matter how evil. So where is the line on this? To help us sort through the free speech firestorm, what's protected, what's not, and why, we turn to attorney Ron Coleman. Coleman is a litigator whose work has spanned a wide range of commercial civil rights, intellectual property, and constitutional cases, including winning advocacy for free speech before the U.S. Supreme Court. So Ron knows a bit about this. As a partner in the Dillon Law Group, working with Harmony Dillon, now head of the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice, in the areas of free speech, discrimination, defamation, and political election law. We really want his insight. Now he works independently and is also host of the Coleman podcast. So thank you for joining me.
A real pleasure to see you again.
I'm holding up. You know, it's been a heavy past week, really a heavy past month, I would say, with all of this craziness going on. And I think that many of us are dealing with, we want to always fiercely defend free speech, but we've been also faced directly with evil. We've just watched a person die. We watched him bleed out. Whether we wanted to or not, it was all over our social media feeds. And so to watch that over and over again, practically, paired with seeing people we knew, our colleagues, smiley faces, emojis at the very least, and at the most saying he deserved to die. Again, this is abhorrent speech. Should we defend that, or should we celebrate that they're facing consequences for being mentally unstable?
Well, you know, Kristi, the First Amendment tells us what the government can't do. Any employer, any private employer is entitled to, under almost all circumstances, fire, discipline, suspend an employee for their public statements or for no reason at all. Remember, the law actually protects, if you've got a contract, you've got a contract. If you've got a union, you have a union. But most people are at-will employees. And if your boss finds out that you have an opinion about bow ties or Botox or something that they believe will reflect poorly on the company, or they just simply don't want their employees talking about things on social media, they're entitled to fire you. That's always been the case, and no one has, you know, there's no one who can really seriously suggest otherwise. One notable exception is the state of California, where they actually have a law which was originally passed to protect communists after the 1950s Red Scare that protects political opinion. You can't fire someone for political expression. But in most places, private employers are completely within their rights to discipline someone. And that, of course, includes someone who delivers the TV news or the business report on TV news.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky part is with the news anchor, she was sharing, I would say, memorializing him. I don't think she shared any political opinions in that, but certainly her company had the right to suspend her. I don't know about the morality of it because, again, she's doing something that I thought was encouraged in news, to be her authentic self. And there were all kinds of news stations that were memorializing him. I mean, that's what I took it as, is her report there.
I mean, Kristi, I mean, you know far better than I do. I think a lot would depend on what the guidelines were for her segment. If she were talking about the death of of her fourth grade teacher or an astronaut, all right? Or if that would be within the realm of her normal editorial discretion, then I would get your point. I would have found it awkward to watch. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. I didn't have the kind of relationship with Charlie she obviously did. I understand that in a lot of editorial environments, that's encouraged. But if I was tuning in for the business report and I all of a sudden am seeing a young lady crying, that as a viewer, I don't know quite what I would do with that. So I think we need to find out more for the purpose of judging the station management about whether it was a Charlie Kirk specific form of discipline or whether it was just generally speaking, why are you talking about this during the business report?
I'm conflicted on a lot of these things, I'll admit.
Well,